I'm going to introduce to you one of America's finest entrepreneurs, somebody who has transformed lives for over 30 years, somebody who has what it takes to inspire, somebody who has what it takes to level mountains into valleys. It is not by luck that we have him here. It is a great privilege. Please help me welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Joey Battista.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Joey Battista. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Auto Giants. I have a 9-figure commercial real estate portfolio, and I'm positioned to be one of the fastest growing business coaches in the world. Listen, I come here today to support my good friend Roland and to support his book launch, The Cameroon Dream. Listen, in order for something like this to come to life, we're going to need to access frameworks. We're going to have to take the people within this nation, share the vision with them, get them to rally behind it, and we're going to have to teach them and show them the frameworks that they need to have in place to access the beautiful talent of the men and women of that nation to bring this dream alive. So please join me this November 25th and with me and my good friend Roland, and together we'll teach the people how to build the frameworks and how to access the beautiful men and women's talent of this great nation. I'll see you there. A breakthrough is when the impossible becomes possible, right? That's what we're talking about here right now. We're talking about doing the impossible, right? And we're chasing a breakthrough, right? That's what the mission that Roland's sharing. He's sharing a breakthrough. How do we go ahead and break through and create an economy and create a situation that just makes all of this, I wouldn't say worthwhile, but at least to make some sense of it. Today, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to challenge each and every one of you with is some personal, what is your role? What is it that you're looking to do, right? And to tell you that you're good enough, you need to allow this to happen. You can achieve any single thing in your life that you want, but not if what goes in up here is wrong, right? You have to tell yourself, I'm good enough. I deserve this. I will allow this to happen. Right? Most people cannot achieve what they want to achieve in life because they don't believe that they're worthy enough or good enough. They won't say it. They will say otherwise, but all of their behavior will dictate that they feel unworthy. You know? So I would write down what it is you're willing to sacrifice, and I would write something ridiculous that you want to achieve. And one of the things that you achieve in doing this, what do you want out of your own personal life? What would that win look like for you? See, a lot of people, it's a lot easier to give up the physical than the mental. And this is a mental game right now. This is truly a mental game you're up against. Because, sure, you can take the physical trauma, the abuse, the beatings, everything. But can you go ahead and transition from that and take an enlightened approach? An approach that some of you right now, imagine this, and I commend you all I commend all of you, especially the people of the great nation of Cameroon. And I tell you why. Because some of you right now are going to fight for a dream. You're going to put your heart and soul in it. And you're going to do every single thing that you can do only for your children to see it come to life. Imagine that. You're going to do all your efforts, your entire life, and you're never going to see it. Well, this is what I would challenge myself to and all of you. I would challenge you that anyone, whether it's young or old, anyone who's willing to go at something that hard and that long, that's a noble, worthy mission. And that's a mission that's definitely worth support. If there's change that we wish to see within government or within nation, if we don't see it within our own households, within our own communities, the places where we go, have cookouts or celebrate or go to the grocery store, wherever we are in our own communities, how can we expect that of someone else? See, we must become the change that we want to see. For those of you that are in leadership roles, which is all of us in some capacity, remember something. When you're called upon to do the work of leadership, it's one simple thing that makes a difference. It's one random good deed that makes a difference, right? It's one specific little thing that you can do when no one else is looking. See, we're all pointing fingers and we're looking at other people and we're blaming it on the leadership. But the reality is, at what point in time have we accepted personal accountability for ourselves and decided that we were going to be the change that we wish to see, right? It doesn't matter what happened. Our trauma, our setbacks, our losses will not define us yet. They will set the tone. They will set the pace for where we're going to go, right? And the thing is, when you're going through to this, it's nothing casual. You're going to have to be ridiculous committed to learning to collaborate and work together. And when you consistently do that long enough, it happens. There's when you set out down a path, you have to know that without, I always have a saying. I was talking earlier today to someone, and I said, in a test of wills, I will win, right? And the thing is, there's no doubt the will of this nation, right? There's no doubt of the will of Roland, right? And I think the biggest thing, what they're saying is, I think the easiest thing that all of us can do, and obviously, I'm going to go ahead and be the first one too, because I wish to see this change. So I want to lead by example, right? I want to go ahead and make a positive impact and contribution to society. So the thing is, what do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go buy, 50 of these books from Roland for my team so that we can educate them here. So for all of you that are on this call, and this isn't me pitching, I'm giving you a small actionable step, and Roland didn't tell me to say this, but I'm giving you a small actionable step that you can take, right? It's a very, very small actionable step, right? You go ahead, you buy 50 books, you buy 10 books, you buy 5, you buy 2, you buy 1, right? But you go ahead and you buy a book because you take the time to educate yourself, and this is really and truly where you can rally behind it. How many of you have a calling? How many of you not only audit your skill set that you bring, right? Also work on your skill set that you bring, and then bring an open mind and an open heart in order to be able to execute upon it. Because it is going to take every single person humanly possible to achieve it. And imagine that. And this is why we talk about the mindset. You have to be fully equipped and fully understand that you may never actually see it, but know in your heart that the next generation will. Imagine that. You have to really think about that as you go in there, because we hop on these calls and awareness is there. And very transparently, I wasn't super familiar with the whole scenario until Roland reached out to me and started explaining it to me, and I took interest in his work, and I saw the noble, worthy mission that he did. And you see things like this, and you realize, you're like, how can this happen? How can people go through this? But you know what? It doesn't matter where we're at. It matters where we're going. Is you have that. You have that. These conditions that people have been exposed to and people have been victimized of, the hardships and the tragedy and everything. You have the DNA. You have what it takes in order to go all the way and make the changes. The question is, do you have the right mindset, right? And you're really going to have to open up your mind, because there's going to be a transition phase. There's going to be a transition where you have to go. What gets you here will not get you there, right? And in order to do it, it's going to take every man, woman, and child humanly possible available to help you accomplish it. It's going to be a consistent activity of every day, all day, without fail, without exception, looking for allies, and then being able to execute. But it's not going to be without more hardship, and it's not going to be without more tragedy. It's not going to be without more loss. It's not going to be without more setbacks, right? And maybe not to some magnitudes, but then maybe more to others. Now, here's the thing. How do you access the talent? How do you access the people who are actually going to rebuild this country and participate in perhaps one of the greatest economies it's ever seen since its inception in the history of civilization, right? You're going to have leadership that can communicate and collaborate and find men and women that can actually go out and do it. So my question would be to all of you today is, it's very hard when people go, when I was in business and I made my first money, what gets you to the table is the fight, right? That's what gets you to the table is the fight. But when you really start having a lot of success, those people that you're fighting with are now your allies. They now have the vital resources, the vital connections that you need to make your dream a reality. And that's it. You know, either which way, I thank you guys for your time and thank you for being a part of this today.
You can buy the book, The Cameroon Dream, to learn more about how we can make Cameroon a better place. You can also help by donating here, csdphope.org/donate.